In the tunnel.
In the tunnel.
In the tunnel. You're listening to In the Tunnel.
Hello and welcome to In the Tunnel, episode number 42.
Hello? Hello.
Yeah, so we kind of took a little bit longer of a break than we wanted, but I guess it
We say that.
happened.
No, we say that all the time. So we need to just adjust our standards.
Yeah, I know, right?
We delivered the product we said that we were going to deliver.
Alright.
Took a while, but it may just be that that's how it is. Life interferes when this is your side project.
Yeah, alright. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So yeah, the NHL playoffs are currently going on. As of the current moment, it is 2-1 Boston. They crushed St. Louis at their home game.
I'm so glad that that's the one game I didn't really watch.
Yeah, I watched the first period and then I was like, well, it's over. And it's not
Yeah,
that
I
Binnington
really hate
played
those
bad.
games.
It's just that like nobody showed up. So even though he got pulled, like it wasn't really all his fault. He had literally zero defense in front of him.
Yeah, had to keep him from getting two inside of his own head, so they had to pull him.
Yeah, and I mean, they ended up losing like 7-2, so it's not like it did any better.
Yeah, not really.
Aside from that, what do you think of the other two games?
Well, game one, I thought that one could have gone either way. I think I'm on the record saying that Boston is an intimidating atmosphere, and I think that the Blues started out really well in game one. And I thought that they, left an impression worthy of, being able to beat Boston in their home barn any day. And then they went out and did that in game two. I think that they probably should have had game one as well. If it wasn't for, letting Boston get back in it after going up 2-0 in the
Yeah,
first.
I mean, they played a really formidable game one, and that game two was close. It really showed, I think, and I'm glad they took the game. It was like it showed what this series could be, and then game three happened. Like
Right. I
the
mean,
first
yeah.
two games,
Mhm.
close, back and forth, everything, right? And then
Yeah.
blowout.
Yep.
So
It just, as soon as you think that you know what you're going to get out of the series, they throw a curveball at you and give you an absolute blowout. So
yeah, I'm hoping that the game four game four brings us some competition. It would be good to see the Blues win at home for the first time.
it would be. But I'll say this: if you told me beforehand if there was one team that was going to win a game with a blowout score, I would have said it was the Bruins instead of the Blues.
Oh yeah.
I think, yeah, I think that one is obviously very, very plausible.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm just like with the way the first two games went, it was kind of disheartening to see
mhm.
to watch even one period of that third game.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have turned it off, but then again, I didn't have it on,
Yeah. I
so
mean,
I was ahead of the curve.
aside from that, I really like the series as like, both teams have shown they can be in it. So hopefully that
Yeah,
continues.
I like when a series is even if my squad isn't in it.
Yeah, don't we all?
Yeah, that would be a great quote.
Anyway, on to the other finals. We have Golden State and Toronto, who are in a 1-1 tie right now in their series. And I don't know about you, but that was pretty damn surprising for the first game.
I'm just here to say that I'm surprised that Toronto is in the finals and that they won the first game. Because when you tell me Toronto's in the finals, I don't think of the Raptors, and here we are. I mean,
Yeah, all it looks like. I don't know. Did you see that like Twitter poll that came out where like 48 states or 47 states were rooting for Toronto?
and that's including the fact, they're very much aware of what Drake does on the sidelines, and still Golden State has become that intolerable, where 48 states would rather root for a different country.
Yeah, I think it was like Nevada, California, and Hawaii who still rooted for Golden State as a majority.
And why does it not surprise me that Hawaii goes for Golden State?
Yeah, I was so surprised to see that. Toronto won the first game, and I don't know, it looked electric in that arena, stadium, whatever they call it.
The place where the Leafs play. The place where the Leafs don't make the same buzz. It's a
Yeah.
shame.
So
I'd rather see the Leafs.
yeah, and yesterday's game, right, wasn't like it was still pretty close.
Yeah, it was, but it doesn't help when Toronto started the second half without being able to hit a shot for the first 8 minutes of the third
Yeah,
quarter.
that was really bad.
Spoiler alert: you kind of need to score
In order to
in
win,
well, I was going to say to beat the Warriors,
in order
but
to
yeah,
win anything, you need to score.
yes, but considering the pace of how the Warriors score themselves,
True.
if you stay up at the half, you kind of have to carry that into the second half. And,
Yeah.
well, they didn't.
Definitely not.
It's a shame.
All right, so
It would be so funny if Toronto was up 2-0 in this series.
dude, that would be great.
It'd
I don't
be
know about you.
great. Golden State would probably come back and win the next 4 games, but it would be great to just sit there and be like, are the Warriors just absolutely out of it?
Yeah, but it was in Toronto, so nobody would like people would give Toronto props, but everybody would be like, "Oh, it's just home field, right?"
Yeah, but Toronto winning a game in the finals seems somehow less plausible than the Blues winning a home game in the finals. And the fact of the matter is Toronto already did it.
Yeah.
Like they did it in game 1. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know
they
if they
also
did it beforehand.
they had a better record, so they had their first two games as the first two games of their home
That's
games
not
as the
the
first two
point
games.
I'm making. Just in team history, I don't know that the Raptors have ever been in the finals before.
I'm not sure. I know this.
Let's
I think
see.
this is the first time a Canadian team. I mean, they're the only Canadian team, but I think this is the first time a Canadian team's in the final.
I mean, unless the Vancouver Grizzlies did it back in the day. I tried. I can almost guarantee that they didn't.
Yeah, I don't think so, man.
The Toronto Raptors have one conference title, and it was this year. So, first time in the finals, they were 1-0 in home games in the finals, and then
Now they're 1-1, which is still good.
it's not bad for a small sample size. It's
Yeah.
not great, but
I mean, you can't really expect much more than above 500 at home, barely. And you have two games, 500 is okay. It's not like you're 0-2.
true. I think it depends on the sport because obviously the college basketball tournament and the college football bowl games, they're done in neutral sites to take away the home crowd atmosphere to some extent, but also it takes away when you're dominant in your home stadium.
True.
So I think there is a degree to where you can be so much better than 500 in your own facility, and that's kind of where like the Super Bowl stuff like that. It's limited presence
I mean,
to try to neutralize the game.
you could also be like the Blues. I think they're 0-7 right now in the final
I mean, you gotta start somewhere.
at home. So
Building blocks.
it's not the right side of the, you know.
They're building blocks.
I mean, are all 7 of them building blocks?
I don't know. It depends on how big of a wall that they're building.
Fair enough.
You gotta climb, man.
All right. Anyway, anything else you want to bring up about the finals game?
This is like the longest we've talked about the NBA in forever. Do I have anything else I want to bring up? No, I'm good. What about you? You got anything itching your mind? Fancy?
Nah, let's just move straight on to weird, stupid stuff in Milwaukee on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Green Bay area, home
Yeah,
of
so
maybe the stupidest stuff that
I
we
mean,
found so far.
they lost in the semis, and we already did all the cities in the finals for both sports. So here's your consolation prize, Milwaukee.
And boy, do you guys have a lot of consolation prizes. And we found them.
Yeah.
They're not good.
All
You
right.
guys should be ashamed of some of the stuff that you guys publicly put out there.
All right. So anyway, let's just start off with the
With the
basketball
$40
hoop.
basketball hoop.
Yeah,
All right.
like,
Or lack of hoop.
are you looking at this? Like,
Oh, I'm sorry. The hoop isn't the problem. It's everything else that's missing.
I mean, there's no net, there's no backboard, there's not even a place to put this on. It looks like it probably won't even go anywhere. It's like bent out of shape.
See, I can't tell if what's beneath the rim is a bracket that's supposed to like be nailed into like a wall above a garage door, or if it's like from a dolly that broke down too, and it's just like, oh, we put everything of the same color in this pile.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
like,
no idea what that is.
and it could be yours for $40.
For $40, you gotta throw in at least a net, and
Yeah.
hope. I mean, let's play this out a little bit more. The fact that there's no backboard means to me, if everything is there, that someone's actually shooting a ball against their house as if it was the backboard, which
Or
not
they're
great for real estate.
all
Just
right.
nope. Let's hear your idea.
I mean, or they could have just, like used the backboard for some other dumb DIY project.
Okay, yeah, that tracks. I'm thinking snowboard or sled.
Yeah, I'm down with that, especially in that area.
Yeah. All right.
All right, and then moving on. Not only do we have this disheveled basketball hoop for $40, but a used baseball glove for $50.
Okay. My market on used sports equipment stops around like $30.
It looks like a
Used
kid's
baseball
baseball glove.
gloves, it doesn't matter what size it is, used for $50. It like even a hockey stick can't gather my attention for $50 used.
Yeah.
So this one, this is maybe the first time that we've found that the price tag was too expensive on something really stupid. But
I mean, that $40 baseball hoop is definitely too expensive on something pretty damn stupid.
well, also it's a lefty glove, so you have to play the percentages of lefties and righties in the world.
Okay, if we're strictly going off our podcast, we got one each.
Maybe we'll never know.
Yeah. Anyway, and if you need somewhere to use that, or actually use that basketball hoop of yours,
And store your glove.
or store your glove, yeah, you can get an actual Milwaukee Bucks basketball locker from the Bradley Center for
which just goes to show
$500.
which just goes to show that the Bradley Center was probably the last NBA-based arena to convert to nice lockers, because this thing is really bad. Like, I'm sure it's got some storage cube in the middle there on the bottom that someone could sit on top of. But other than that,
It has a small little hanger.
Yeah, the hanger is not what bugs me about this. It's the fact that it looks like it's, like been left behind in a warehouse.
I mean, it basically has if you look around it.
Yeah. Yeah, so $500. I guess I was expecting maybe a Milwaukee Bucks color locker.
Yeah, and
Just
I mean,
not to be too picky, but
there's nothing aside from like maybe if you actually know what the lockers are supposed to look like, there's nothing actually, stand out that would actually be like a locker from there.
well, there's nothing. Yeah, like you said, there's nothing to suggest that this is actually legitimate, despite the fact that it is hard to replicate a locker
Yeah.
in that size.
Yeah, true.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
That one probably is too big to even get on some pickup trucks, so that might be, on the market for a while.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, moving on. Okay, you want to take this one?
Sure. All right. So, everyone with the kiddos, you're always looking for storage, stuff like that. This is not that. This is what looks to be a toy 1990s Brett Favre Packer locker. And if you think that Brett Favre is a locker model, I don't even know what that means, but sure, I guess he could be.
Also, like, when they do like player locker models, don't they always put the last name?
Yeah, but this one looks like it had some stickers put on it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm guessing a fan did this.
yeah, because usually they put the last name, and I doubt they would put, like, if it was an actual like Packers thing, they'd put the first name.
How much would you bet that kid would have spelled Favre wrong, though?
Oh no, I'm not taking that bet. That's a definite.
Favre. All right. But yeah, that thing, we also, in other pictures of it, which are not on here, uh, it's also a very rusty, small, miniature size locker. One that basically, I feel like this thing is a desktop decorative piece, and it's $20, which is way more than it ever should be.
Yep.
All right, you're up.
All right, so now directly in the middle, we have a Pabst Bart Bart Star Super Bowl patch.
Yep.
Does that
Not a patch that was ever worn on a jersey, I'm guessing.
No way.
One because it says that it was sponsored by Pabst, and two because it's only one player, Bart Starr, being shouted out on as a Super Bowl champion, and someone wants $7 for this.
Bart Starr,
what are you
Super
going to do
Bowl
with
champions. He's not just the champion; he's the champions. So he's all.
It also kind of looks like a Rams helmet.
Yeah, definitely, dude. I mean, you can make the case for the G, right?
It also does look like a G, but from a distance, it looks like the Rams too. $7 is. It's not the price tag that's the problem. It's what can you do with this that is a major problem, because there's nothing you can do with it.
Literally nothing.
You can't put this on your shirt and then look cool with it. It's literally just a decorative piece. And you could argue that whoever, Pabst or whoever distributed this probably should not have made this in patch form. This should have been sticker, put it on like the bumper of your car.
Yeah.
And be like, it's wasted space, but I found a use for it.
Yeah, because there's no way you're sewing this on anywhere.
Nope. It's a shame.
I mean, I wouldn't even want to collect it and collecting dust anywhere around me. So
And you know what? I'll say this: you can put that patch in your miniature Brett Favre.
in my miniature Brett Favre locker,
Yeah, and then you can put that in your Milwaukee Bucks.
actual locker.
I think so.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, you want to take the next one?
Yeah. So this one, it wasn't horrible. Coca-Cola sponsored the Milwaukee Bucks knit beanie, but
My
in other
problem.
pictures,
My
go
problem
ahead.
is this is the first picture you see. I can see Coca-Cola, but where's Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah, which it was on the other side of the hat. We'll say that. But also on the other side of the hat, massive amounts of sweat stains that take this thing from being worth $25 to being worth a trip to the garbage can. You can't sell that. It's not right.
Yeah.
And the Burns just tied up the game.
Oh damn.
Ooh.
All right. Anyway, last one.
Last two, yeah.
Yeah. So now, for all you Bucks fans out there,
Oh,
you
this
can
is the best one.
get your Bucks in 6 coffee mug.
Oh, I thought we were going the other
No,
way.
that one's the last one, man.
Okay.
You got it. So,
All right, no, go ahead.
yeah, I don't know how useful this would be to you at the current time if you're a Bucks
I
fan.
mean, a mug is a mug. It's useful for sure, just not in a way that you have pride.
Yeah, unless you're
If,
using it as a hermit in your own house and not showing it to anybody for the
yeah.
current future. Uh,
uh, if it only has print on one side of the mug, you can turn it and put like plants in it, just
true.
like windowsill
Or you could be a lefty and
style.
that'll face you the entire
Yeah, that could work.
time.
That could work. Or you could, if you can find some ceramic whiteout, you're golden here.
Yeah, but I don't know. $10 for something I have to ceramic white out anyway.
I mean, the ceramic whiteout's probably worth more than the mug.
Yeah. All right, you want to take the last one?
Oh boy, would I! All right, so checking in with just around 12,621 miles. So low in usage, near and dear to all of our hearts because it has, like everybody else uses, an automatic transmission. It looks like a tissue box slash a car that's already been smashed in. It's the 2013 model smart car for the Milwaukee Bucks. So you get a white smart car with purple trim and two older Milwaukee Bucks logos. They call it the 2013 Smart for $2 Bucks car, which I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
That must be I'm out of the geographical loop there. So get yourself a car for under $7,000 that looks like it doesn't belong on the road and is just
Yeah, like,
so embarrassing that someone's actually selling a car that looks to be in good condition for
but
less
to be
than
fair,
10,000.
like, I'm not gonna be surprised if somebody bought that.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't be if it's like the super fan buys it, but the regular fan,
No way.
no, no.
And that car
Not
is
even,
super small.
not even a smart car obsessive fan would buy this.
And like the thing about like smart cars are cool and all, but like that car is super small. Like, what am
I
I
mean,
doing with that car?
you
I can
can't
probably
get
not even fit a
groceries in that
passenger.
car. No, you can't even get groceries in that car.
I probably can't even fit a passenger, even if it has a second seat.
It's the perfect car to go get eggs in because it's the only car where it can't slide around.
Oh.
All right.
All right. Anyway, let's see what we got next. You want to take the first one?
Yeah. All right, so it was brought to my attention by my co-host earlier. Let's say 2 days ago, that golf is the only sport that's been played on both the Earth and the Moon, and that is our first useless fact of the day. Because until there's a tournament on the Moon,
Yep.
All
right, and then
why bother?
moving on for that, right? In the expansion era, so post the original 6 teams, only 2 players have won the Art Ross, having more goals than assists. And they're on the screen if you can see, but they are Jerome McGinley and Alex Ovechkin.
And neither one's really a surprise, but
I mean, still having more goals than assists is quite unheard of because of the nature of primary and secondary assist. You're bound to
unless
get
your
an
name
assist
is
randomly.
Alex Ovechkin. Unless your name is Alex
Yeah,
Ovechkin.
yeah, I
He
agree.
is the one player who excludes that mold.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, and this is kind of a fun shot at LeBron. He has the most shots attempted in NBA playoff history with 5,006 shots taken.
Yep.
And number 2 on the list is Kobe with 4,499 shots taken. So Kobe, Mr. Shoots a lot, taking less shots in the playoffs than LeBron. And he's not even in the playoffs this year.
Yep. All right. And next stat is there have been, there's been 5 NFL officials who have ref 5 Super Bowls apiece. And then to go along with that, so their names what? Bob Beeks, Ron
Bob
Botchin,
Beeks, mm-hmm.
uh,
Jack Fett, Al Jury, and Tom Keller.
And fun fact, they also get a Super Bowl ring, meaning these 5 have more rings than 28 NFL teams.
Yep. Climb the mountaintops.
That's some
They
bling.
certainly did.
They have some bling, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that, and despite all that bling, by the way, St. Louis scored again.
Nice.
But despite all that bling, players will still yell at them about throwing a flag.
Yeah.
Keeps them humble. Keeps them humble.
All right, you wanna the next?
Yeah. Former MLB catcher Harry Cheedy was the first ever player to be traded for himself.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like, how bad do you have to be traded for yourself?
I think the Pirates had a pitcher who was traded for himself. Vic Black or something like that.
Wasn't he just traded back?
Yeah, but I think he was a player to be named later in the trade back.
Because this guy, yeah, he was traded for a player to be named later, and then he was named later. All right, and last one that we have at least is.
All right.
Actually, do you want to take that one? Or are you looking up something?
I don't see it, so you can take it.
All right, so the heaviest person to play in the MLB only played 14 games. There's a couple varying stats. I think one had him at like 370 pounds at once, and one had him at like 320. What was his name? Walter
Young.
Walter Young. He played
Walter Young, aka Forever Young.
He played a total of 14 games in the MLB. He was drafted by the Pirates in the 31st round.
Sounds
for
about
that
right.
Guy.
Yep. Somehow made the majors. Thankfully, not for us.
Yeah, but that he immediately dropped out of the majors the next year. He went to like AAA, AA, and then he's never heard from him again.
I mean, I'm just surprised he didn't make the MLB team for us when we were in the midst of that horrible 20 years of just misery.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you guys have standards a little
No,
bit.
just the only standard is you have to be on a cheap contract.
Fair enough, but we don't know how cheap his contract was, so can't tell you.
I mean, he got to the majors when he was 26. He probably wasn't on the cheapest deal.
Yeah. All right. Now time for some forgotten stars. Nice picture, by the way. You
Oh
okay?
yeah, I took a different picture and then I whited out the player in it.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I'm fine. I'm just dandy, Sean. Why are you asking? Why you always gotta like interrogate me?
first player we have is Vince Carter.
And yes, we know he's still playing, but the fact of the matter is you didn't know he was still playing.
Yeah, I don't think either of us remembered he was still playing.
Oh, I did.
Oh,
For sure.
I definitely didn't.
I mean, it's one of those things you kind of forget that he was playing for the Hawks because, like, who's watching the Hawks? But, you know,
Yeah. So anyway, this guy's resume,
kind of
right?
fell off a little bit.
So
Yeah.
he's playing. He's currently played for 21 seasons.
Yeah, it's
He's
21
still going.
seasons so far.
Maybe.
Possibly. He hasn't announced yet.
He's an 8-time NBA All-Star, and I'm pretty sure they were all consecutive.
Yes, they were.
He
Hasn't been an All-Star in 12 years.
He was a first-round pick in '98.
Number 5 overall.
Olympic gold medalist, and
Yep,
his
2000.
current stats are 17.2 points per game and 4.4 rebounds per game for his career. Might be
Which
going
is
down. We
very
don't know.
Well, I was about to say it's very impressive considering the fact it has to be going down.
Yeah.
He's not playing much anymore, so it has to be going down.
Well, I mean, not playing much. I mean, like they calculate rebounds per game no matter how many minutes you've played, or do they
Right,
like
but
do
points per
rebounds
game.
per 48 or however long
Well,
freaking
yeah,
basketball game is?
but it's per 36, but we're not using that stat right now.
Okay.
Oh, and also, fun fact about Vince Carter: he's 42 years old. He's like the NBA.
I mean, he's been playing basketball for in the NBA for half his life.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. 42 years young.
Yeah. All right. Next one. You want to take it?
Yeah. As soon as I see that the graphic changes. All right, Omar Vizquel. So speaking of guys who've played for, such a large portion of their life, Omar Vizquel played in the MLB level of organized baseball for 24 years. Only a 3-time All-Star in 1998, 99, and 2002, but an 11-time Gold Glove winner, meaning he almost brought home Gold Gloves in half a years he played at
that's
the
pretty
MLB
impressive.
level. A career 272 batting average and only 80 home runs in 24 years and 951 RBIs. He was also not drafted by an MLB team, instead was a non-drafted signee of the Seattle Mariners.
I mean, also, like, MLB has had some weird drafts, right? They changed their number of draft rounds.
Well, yeah, there's like 75 now.
Yeah, it's just like...
Which is slightly exaggerated, but one of these years it probably won't be.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but that's a pretty impressive career for that long. Even though he's only had 80 home runs, that's probably the only, like, important low number that people look at.
I mean, 951 RBIs is kind of low for 24 years, too.
Yeah, but 1K RBIs, like, what, that's like 50,
Let's do the math here.
it's about 50
951
per year.
No, it's 39.63.
What the heck am I... Oh, yeah, 40. Yeah, okay. It's about 40 per year. You're
40
correct.
RBIs per year is pretty low.
Yeah.
I mean, an all-star...
But I mean, he was good enough to get those Gold Gloves.
True. An all-star normally gets 40 by the all-star break, though.
Yeah. I mean, it shows he was a 3-time All-Star only, so...
What are you saying? You downgrading his...
No, I'm not downgrading it. I mean,
to the game?
in order to win that many Gold Gloves, you have to be good at that part of the game,
Oh yeah,
and not just good, but great.
a regular, yeah, a
So
regular defensive first guy.
and that's your game. Like, all power to you, and that's amazing to get almost a Gold Glove every other year. Like
Yeah,
that.
not bad.
That's, you can't talk down that, and nobody's good at everything. So
Nor would I try to talk that down.
nobody's good at everything. So he did what he did really well.
He did what he set out to do.
Yep. All
All
right.
right, moving on.
Yeah. So next we have Alexei Yashin.
Yeah, you're definitely taking this one.
Yeah. So he was drafted #2 overall in '92 by the Ottawa Senators. Right. So he was a 3-time All-Star in '94, '99, and '02. Pretty spread out,
Mm-hmm.
just like the other guy.
In fact, the last two All Star games were the same years as Vizquel.
Yep. He was a captain for both teams that he played for, the Senators and the Islanders. And he recorded 8 hat tricks in the NHL, which is damn impressive.
It is, especially for a guy I'd never heard of before.
Yeah. And then
And that's great criteria for forgettable stars is when one of us has no idea who the other one.
yeah, and especially when they've had a career like this, right? He's
Yeah.
had just under 550 points in his career, with 246 being goals, and that's in 12 years. So that's solid 20 goals a season.
Yeah,
And that's a lot more than you can ask most players.
true. Do you know how long he was in the league for?
He had a 12-year career.
Okay, did I put that in there?
Yes, it's at the bottom.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, but his career was over pretty fast for being a #2 overall pick.
Okay, yeah. I mean, for being a captain of two teams, 12 years is kind of short.
Yeah.
The criteria.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you want to take over the last one?
Yeah, it's so sad when we have to come to an end, but here we are with by far the highest profile forgotten star to date, possibly. And that's Sean Alexander, a mid first round pick by Seattle in 2000. He played in the NFL only 8 years, a 3-time Pro Bowler between 2003 and 2005, but he was the NFL MVP and Offensive Player of the Year in 2005, a 2-time NFL rushing touchdown leader in 2001 and 2005, and a 1-time rushing yards leader in 5. Basically, in 2005, he stacked all of his stats up to the top in all of the rushing categories, and he apparently played for the Redskins for a year in 2008, I want to say.
And then he fell off the face of the earth.
And that was the last we heard of him. Which running backs, they don't have the longest shelf life for a career.
I mean,
8 years is still pretty short.
I mean, also, like, running backs they have their prime and then they take a pretty hard fall. So it's not.
I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer, at least not in my books. But the fact of the matter is, if you look at all those numbers,
yeah, and
what
2005
could
he
have
was
been?
amazing. Like,
yeah, what could have been?
Yeah, and I mean, it's just unfortunate that, like, running backs have, like, one of the shortest careers in the NFL.
Running backs and some defenders.
Yeah, and you just look at
Some
those
wide
numbers in
receivers.
2005, and they kind of just dropped, like, after that, right? He 3 consecutive Pro Bowl appearances, and then bam.
It was almost like he went from the top of his game to nobody won.
Yep.
Just based off of age alone, probably.
Yeah, kind of sucks, but he was a pretty damn good player.
I mean, we've seen running backs on the opposite side of 30 still succeed, like D'Angelo Williams and all those other guys. It's a shame that a power back couldn't last.
Yep. All right. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
All right, well.
What about you, Sean?
Nothing for me.
Oh,
Thanks for tuning in. It was a slightly shorter episode than normal.
no wheel spin. That's the thing.
Yeah, no wheel spins. Hopefully we bring them back next week, but it'll be until next week for us to have an episode. So see you then.
Yep, Jeopardy James lost. There you go. Gave you some breaking news that if you didn't notice earlier in the day.
There you
Not
go.
really breaking news, but news.
There you go. Thanks for tuning in.